Hey, Eric.
Hey, John. How's it going tonight?
It is going well. Or wait, it is fantastic. Oh, no. You're coming up with new words each week, and I'm recycling them. No. This week is snowing. So
this last week flew by. I don't even remember what I did.
Okay.
This weekend.
Yeah.
But it is snowing, which is anomalous.
Anomalous.
To say the
That's
least.
right. Yep. They've already canceled school for tomorrow because a flake of snow has been sighted.
That's right.
But
that's right.
But, talk about somebody who has a no-win job. If you call off school, then everybody and their brother are like, what am I supposed to do with my kids for the day? And I have to work and if you don't call off school, well, then like a couple weeks ago, I'm pretty sure I looked for it on the news, but the kid said a school bus went in the ditch.
Yeah.
And
because of ice. Yeah.
Because of ice. And so,
yeah, no win situation.
Yeah. You are Kobayashi Maru. So, yeah,
Check
it is
mark
what it is.
The Nerd Podcast. Nice.
Hey. Yeah.
No, my boy and I, and good on him, he's the one who actually texted me and said, Dad, come outside, because he was outside shoveling the walks.
Oh.
Which, all right.
Okay.
Good on you, son.
You have more snow than I do.
And there was, we have an inch, I think, if we're being generous.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little more. But there was a person trying to get out of our cul-de-sac, and it's got a kind of a hill. I'm sure I've mentioned this before in the last 5 years when there's been a snow
Before
event.
you got your speed pillows.
Yes. Trying to get out of our cul-de-sac, it's a bit of a slope, and they couldn't get out. I mean, it was too slippery. I think it was like a little CRV, but it was only front-wheel drive. It wasn't all-wheel drive. So it was some small little whatever. So we got 4 of us. My boy went and recruited some neighbors and myself, and we went out and pushed
them out of the cul-de-sac.
Yep. Got to the top and was able to exit the cul-de-sac. So he has done his good deed for the day.
Very, very well done.
Well done, son. And then he went and spent the rest of the time monitoring Pulse Point for all the various accidents and where things are going on. So all the accidents in all the expected places are happening.
They're like have no
roads that are pretty steep.
Yeah.
At the bottom, there are accidents. Things like that. So,
yep, good. No doubt. Yeah. I actually was earlier today. 4:30. I went to do a errand with Suburban Propane again, and I was like gonna clear clear up, my account stuff there. And so I walk in at 4:55 because they close at 5, but my kids were still down at the school for theater practice in the pit orchestra, and so I was going to go do this, and then I figured I would maybe stop by and just kind of wait, a half hour for them to finish. And their computers were out. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Oh,
so, but it turned out that my wife texted me while I was there saying, hey, the kids are going to get let go early because the school was closing early for weather. And so anyway, it all worked out okay. But it was starting to snow as we were driving home, though. And not so much here. It wasn't sticking here until about an hour ago. But anyway, it is what it is. It's fun. So,
yeah.
Well, I did a couple of fun things this weekend.
All right.
The first is that my son and I resurrected the 3D printer, which has been sitting here next to me for the last 6 months.
I didn't realize it had died.
It didn't really die. It just I had left maybe a quarter inch of resin in the bottom of the of the tank. Which
did it harden?
No, because it's got like opaque stuff, but I don't think it could be trusted to.
Oh,
it had definitely.
It's like oil sitting in a car for
separated.
Too long. You don't want to start the car.
Yeah, I mean, like, so I basically scraped it out into a trash receptacle and cleaned up the what do you call it? The vat. That's too fancy of a name. It's not a vat. The
vat is a fancy name.
The reservoir. Well,
reservoir sounds a little bit more fancy than vat.
Definitely has more letters. I don't know. So the bottom, the bucket.
The bucket.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, no. I mean, it wasn't anything other than 10 minutes of dump it out and wipe it all up with what am I saying? That clear isopropyl alcohol.
Okay.
Whatever. Just clean it all up and give the new resin a very good shake before pouring it in, and printed first try was awesome. Nice. Awesome. So he nice. And some of his friends were doing some crafty stuff on Sunday, and that was in preparation for that, which was cool. So that's awesome. Cool. And I'm looking forward to, I also did the Kickstarter for Brandon Sanderson's minifigs. I haven't looked at when they're going to send them.
Okay.
But they include... So
you're prepping to print them is what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, they came with STLs as well. So they've got like some that are pre-printed for, I think, I guess that's what most people are buying. But it also came with STLs for some of them. The digital pack, which is what we want. Or it's one of the things we want. But
cool.
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun. The second thing is that I volunteered to help an 8th grader at the school where my boys used to go and where my wife works on his 8th grade project, building a trebuchet. So we got most of the frame done on Sunday and Monday. So
how big is this?
The side, the pole on which the arm rests is about 5.5 feet tall, and the pole, the arm, is a 12-foot 4x4.
So you're not messing around.
Well, of course we're messing around.
Are you writing
This is
down?
Science. Yes. Of course.
Then you're not messing around.
We're not. Okay. You're right. Okay. Sorry. I was misappropriating the quote. Yeah. No. Of course he's writing it down.
Wow. So no, this is a serious trebuchet. This is not, just some Legos and try to put something together for fun.
No. Yeah. This is it's experimental. I'm assisting, not building is how I'm trying to think of this. So I'm trying to help him be successful in his endeavors. I'm not trying to control, well, this is what we need to do for this. So
right.
He has homework to, hey, you need to go figure out how are we going to do the release mechanism? How are we going to do the attachment for the weights? But we're going to try for weights. We got 2 80-pound bags of concrete and put them, mixed it all up and put it in 5-gallon buckets with a big eye hook on them. So it's going to be 80 or 160 pounds of concrete as the weight.
You're going to fling some pumpkins somewhere.
Exactly. Yes. Well, we hope. Well, that's where the experimentation comes in. I had the conversation at the end of Monday. I was like, now I just want you to make sure that you set your expectations correctly. This is not going to work the first time we try to fire it. So, we're going to have, we're going to get it in place and we're going to figured out. But like, I don't quite know how the bag is supposed to work. I've watched some YouTube videos.
How far away from glass is this trebuchet? Windows, windshields.
We will aim
things
it
of that nature.
We will aim it towards the front 30 acres of the property.
I appreciate your liberal use of the word aim. I'm just saying, aim is probably not going to be unidirectional.
You've
got a high probability of about a 270 degree release.
You are not. Your heart is in the right place. Yes,
I'm looking out for you, my man.
I will also make sure the 180 degrees does not aim directly back towards my house. Or greenhouse or barn. And we will I suspect that we will be trying with something small at first. I suggested one of those light, balls that they have in not ball pits, but I don't know, at Walmart where you got just a multicolored bouncy ball.
Bouncy ball.
Yeah. Like that's my. They won't fly very far because their air resistance will be high.
Can I make a request?
Yes.
Please take video. I would love to see.
Of course. Okay.
The Mark 1 and trial number 1.
I was gonna say the first one where the weight slams down and the whole thing falls apart is probably the going to be the best video. I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, no, that's awesome. That's
see.
A lot of fun.
No, and so I'm telling him, you should, so if you have an idea for, how to best measure how high something went, that would be awesome. So we're just sort of figuring we set up a video camera and then fling and then kind of use the phone, ruler feature to try and estimate height on something.
Oh, okay. Sure.
But we don't quite know. Because my suggestion to him, and I don't know that this is that we will do holes every 6 inches on the arm for, at 2.5 feet, 3 feet, 3.5 feet, 4 feet, 4.5 feet, to vary the length of the sort of the lever versus I don't know what the sides of the trebuchet arm are. The weight side versus the flingy side.
The heavy side versus the flingy side.
I don't know.
I like it.
And see how that alters the height versus length, or how far something goes. And then he can do each one 10 times and figure them out, calculate them out, and do a graph. Right? That's all for an 8th grade paper. What you really want is you want a plot, and that would allow you to plot distance and height versus arm ratio. I don't know. We'll see. But we had fun. My wife's first comment was, I think you're going to need more bolts, because we put everything together with screws and nails. And she's like, I don't know. But we'll see.
I would do some math on what's the right terminology? The stress that 160 pounds would put on, if you're drilling a hole through a 4x4, you now have a vulnerable.
You have about a 1 inch on each side of the hole. But
you have a 2x4.
But there's a big, the Mark 0 had a piece of rebar for the pole, which did not work.
Okay.
So the Mark 2 has a piece of heavy duty pipe, or the Mark 0.5, I guess, because it's not altogether even. But
right.
But we did go and we got a heavy duty piece of pipe that is not gonna bend, not conduit pipe. And
right, yeah, okay.
That fills the hole for the pivot at the pivot point.
Sure,
but there's still got to be a hole or a way for the weights to attach, and I think we'll probably have to do something similar. Sorry, this is all too much about trebuchets. Anyway, but that was fun. It appeals to my latent physicist. So, it's all good.
That does sound like fun.
Yeah. So, and I know that I've talked a lot here, but I'm looking forward to this coming weekend because my kids are playing as a prelude to the Oregon Symphony on Saturday night. Every week before the symphony, they pull, one group of strings players from somewhere, a school or an organization around Oregon, and they get to play out in the kind of mezzanine. There's this big, like, sort of 3-story mezzanine out in front of the Schnitz.
That'd be fun.
My parents are flying up from Arizona. We're gonna be there, and they've been working really hard on.
That'd be a memorable experience for the kids.
It's very exciting. Yeah, we go to the symphony a lot, and we try and go early so that we can hear them play. Not whoever the prelude is, and so yeah, it's exciting. So that's looking forward to that. I'll let you know how that goes next week.
A lot of fun.
All right. How about we get into the security part of this podcast here?
Okay, so my security part is not new. This article is actually from 2019, but I don't recall talking about it in this context. But it's a very well-written article, lots of detail. It's kind of written as if it's educating lawmakers or governments or big companies, so it's kind of laid out, at least that's the level of discourse in the article. It's a 3-part series.
Okay.
But it's titled Advanced Persistent Manipulators.
Okay.
Which I don't think I recall ever seeing or hearing the term advanced persistent manipulators, right? We talk about in cybersecurity a lot, APTs, advanced persistent threat.
Uh-huh.
The threat actors, and advanced persistent threats talk about, well-funded, have a specific direction. They're not just trying to cause, problems. They're not messing around. It's a well-funded group who is trying to do threat activities, cyber threat activities. And this article, this 3-part series, talks about advanced persistent manipulators. And so you can probably derive from the term what it's referring to. It's
sure
the same idea of a threat actor, but what they want to do is manipulate public opinion or manipulate somebody's opinion about some topic. And we talked a lot about this, disinformation in front of the election. We're coming up again on silly season here in the U.S. We'll probably kick in earnest here in some point in the middle of this year. We'll start, the election, the 2024 election season. It's kind of like gifts in stores. It keeps starting earlier and earlier every year.
Right. It's not even Halloween yet. You cannot put up a Christmas tree.
Exactly. So most of this was just hey, if you want to read a very well written, probably like I said, the college course level discourse of advanced persistent manipulators. It doesn't give, what to do. It's not, here's how you solve the problem. It's really laying out exactly what it is, how they operate, the different types of disinformation efforts. It talks about some examples. So I thought it was well done. Like I said, it is from 2019, so it's a few years old. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I don't recall seeing the term advanced persistent manipulators, and I liked that term and how the author couched all this. So that's kind of my first one.
It's too bad that hasn't caught on a little bit more in the last couple of years, because it is an ongoing problem.
Mm-hmm. And not just governments. It does talk about even the big tech companies have tried to wrap their heads around how to stop disinformation, which is a little bit different. It's a different skill set than stopping someone trying to hack into your
right.
Machine. It's legitimate people can become or inadvertently become advanced persistent manipulators. Well, I guess, anyways.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Socialized into amplifying the message too.
Exactly. And then the second one was, I don't know. I saw this. I kind of think of it as I'll preface this up front with, that's redundant. I will preface this with, it's a nothing burger, but Twitter made headlines this last week because they came out and the gist of it was, we are disabling SMS two-factor authentication for everyone except for Twitter Blue subscribers. Right? I think they could have just left that whole except for Twitter Blue subscribers off, and it would have been maybe better received. Right? So your two-factor authentication with Twitter, you can either use an authentication app or you can use SMS or email codes, or they have different ways to do 2FA. And Twitter came out and said, we are going to get rid of phone number-based 2FA, the SMS one, because, hey, this has long been abused, it's popular, and it can be more abused than...
So you can pay us to use an insecure method of authentication.
Exactly. They're like, if you pay us, you can still use the slightly worse version, but if you don't pay us, if you want to still do 2FA, the only option you have is a more secure 2FA in an authentication app, that gives you the little codes. So it seemed to be a little weird messaging. I don't know. Maybe Twitter could have messaged this better. Hey, we're making your security better. And not even mention that if you're a Twitter Blue subscriber. I mean, are people going to actually... I suppose they did the math and said, yeah, maybe we can get a few hundred more subscribers to Twitter Blue if I let them keep using SMS. I don't know. I don't get it.
So I have been studiously ignoring Twitter for the last few months. So last couple times I've kind of peeked over in that direction. It looked like it was still on fire. So,
I don't know. I think the fury, whatever it is, the word I'm trying to say has kind of largely died. I don't know if died down is the right word, but mellowed. I don't see it in the news a lot anymore. They still do weird things like this. Hey, we're going to make it less secure or more secure. Unless you pay us, then you can keep using less secure stuff. But my bank still does SMS only and doesn't do an authentication app. So that tells you the state of who's more secure.
Well, I have noticed. What was I doing? I've done a couple things. One of them was Google for sure. Google is using the YouTube app to validate accounts and has been for months.
Yeah.
Somebody else was using their app. I forget what. Sorry, there was another company. It seems like just recently that was like, if this is you, go into your app and
right, sending push notifications to apps.
Yeah, but not SMS. Push notifications
without SMS. It's more similar to, I've seen that. I'm seeing that used more as well.
Yeah. I was trying to remember who that was other than Google. I remember the YouTube. I've had to do that 3 or 4 times. Anyway,
Discord does it.
I'm not cool enough for Discord.
Neither am I, but I'm still on it.
Well, you are hip like all the cool kids, but not me. Sorry.
I'm still older than you, youngin'.
You're younger at heart, I think. I don't know. I have yet to have a reason to have Discord on, so I don't know what that says about me.
It's because you're not a gamer. You got to be a gamer to be on Discord.
True. My younger boy is on Discord a lot. He's got a bunch of friends that I think they even do like their video chats and calls in Discord. So.
Oh yeah, it's
you know,
I got kids that use it too.
Communication platform.
That's all it is.
So it's okay. Okay. Well, tonight is ransomware night for me. Both of my articles are ransomware related. So, the first is about the Regal Medical Group, California healthcare provider, who recently announced that they were hit with ransomware in December. They only notified. Oh, I didn't pull that out. They notified. There it is. Department of Health and Human Services on February 1st. So 2 months later, basically. Mm-hmm. But this is the largest disclosure of or breach of patient records so far this year. Up to 3.3 million individuals may have had their information pilfered. And it says, let's see, it says on the incident took place on December 1st, 2022, but was discovered only a week later and impacted the Regal Medical Group and affiliates Lakeside Medical Organization and a few others, blah, blah, blah. On February 1st, Regal started sending breach notifications. Affected PII and PHI include names, addresses, birth dates, social security number, phone numbers, social security numbers, diagnosis and treatment information, health plan member numbers, laboratory test results, prescription details, and radiology reports. Seemingly everything. I don't know what else they would have other than those things. So, they did not, at least as of this article, say what type of ransomware it was or whether a ransom was paid, but there was a comment that said that in the notification letter that they were working with vendors to restore access to the impacted systems, which implies that backups might have been used, to restore instead of paying a ransom and trying to decrypt, which I guess would be good. Wasn't a ton of other information about that, but that is the largest breach of health of a healthcare provider so far this year. And lawsuits will be forthcoming. So,
I'm sure.
Yep. My second one was, and this has been ongoing since February 10th, but was that the city of Oakland has been coping with a ransomware attack for the last week and a half. But they've been posting updates every day or two to this site that we'll put in here. The update that they posted today was one of the larger updates, but it says they're continuing to work around. Let's see. The city's IT department and leading cybersecurity and forensic teams continue working around the clock to test and recover impacted systems. Thanks to their efforts, we are pleased to share that a lot of progress has been made over the last few days to restore the network and critical public safety and financial systems. We continue working on a phased approach to bring public-facing systems like our business tax, permitting, contracting, and work order back online. They have been sort of dead in the water for the last couple of weeks, and there's still a bunch of stuff that they said. If there's any infrastructure emergencies, you need to call the fire department, non-emergency line, please. And then if it's not an emergency, they've got a URL that you can report stuff online. Parking citations are offline. The business tax licenses is unavailable. Evidently the online permit, what does it say? Permitting. You may now apply for permits and download documents through our online permit center. The permit counter has reopened for in-person services to find out about hours of operation or to make an appointment. City is still working to restore access to online payments. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Lot of stuff going on in Oakland. Actually, I have a friend whose daughter lives in Oakland. I should ask him if there was any impact to the sort of day in the life of a person working from home in Oakland actually is.
Right.
But evidently the California governor's office has been sending them additional assistance, and it says, quote, trained IT experts from Cal OES. I don't know what Cal OES is. And other state departments, including the California Military Department. Okay, I didn't realize there was a California Military Department. Will be on site at some of the city's facilities starting tomorrow, February 23rd, to help in our workstation restoration efforts. We are extremely appreciative to the state for providing these additional resources to support in our city's recovery. We have the Oregon National Guard, but we don't have a military department, but maybe that's the same thing. I don't know. You're the Californian. Tell me about the California Military Department.
I left California at 18. I don't remember much.
And that was just a day or two ago.
Yeah, that was last week.
Maybe that was to avoid the California Military Department. Sorry. Anyway. Yeah. So, ransomware continues to be a thing. So,
as long as it's successful, it will continue to be a thing.
Right. That's where the money is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, there you go. How about something fun?
All right. So now you can click on my link.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen this before.
I have not, to the best of my knowledge.
So this is a consumer space flight in a balloon that takes you to 100,000, don't know, what is it exactly? 100,000 feet, I think.
Okay. I don't think now's the time to be going up in a balloon over the United States.
Balloons have not had a good experience flying over the U.S. at this point in time, have they?
Not for the last week or two.
Yes. 100,000 feet. So basically it's this cool looking bubble capsule.
It is.
And then a balloon pulls it, ascends up to 100,000 feet. So you travel, it says about 12 miles an hour from either Cape Canaveral or a ship off the coast up
that
to
is so cool.
100,000 feet, where it's about 99% of the Earth's atmosphere, right? You're at the very edge of space.
Uh-huh.
And then you stay up there for 2 hours, and then you descend back down and splash down in the ocean. Now, the cost, if you want to reserve a spot, because there's only 8 people per balloon, is $1,000 reservation fee. And then full payment, $125,000 per person.
Huh.
So consumers being able to get to space is continuing to get cheaper and cheaper.
Huh.
I just hope that before I die, this is now on my bucket list. It is more in my price range. Yeah. Can I get to the edge of space? More in my price range. So you get up there and you see 450 miles in all directions. You're above, It looks super cool.
That is a very cool, especially the spaceship link.
Yeah.
Looks awesome.
So it is called spaceperspective.com, but you can launch and travel and view, and this looks like a teardrop, an upside down teardrop. My number one concern though is what happens if the balloon pops? Does it have parachutes? I mean, do I survive, or is that we tried our best? But you get Wi-Fi all the way up and down. You can stream to your family. Anyways, this looks really cool. I thought it was getting closer to
that does look very cool.
Affordable space flight. So
okay.
Anyways, that's my something fun this week. spaceperspective.com.
Who's the people doing this?
I believe it is, let's see, the crew. If you click on a link, there's a crew that talks about
crew. I haven't looked at. Okay,
who they are.
Huh. All right. Well,
Anyways.
very, very, very cool.
It looked fun.
Very cool. Yeah, you need to be the person in charge of balloon systems. Okay.
I want to be the safety guy on the team.
Yeah.
How do we make sure? How do we build in all the redundancies and the backups of backups of backups?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Very cool. Very cool. All right. My something fun was I saw it on Apple News, but it's a link to National Geographic, which has a paywall. So I read it. I read the whole thing in Apple News, but it is a National Geographic article about the largest gathering of whales seen in more than a century. And there's about a 1.5-minute video on the page that it's basically down right off of Antarctica, huge krill bloom, and it says somewhere between 830 and 1,153 fin whales, along with a
number.
handful of humpback. Well, that's 150. That's like plus or minus 300.
Well, no, I'm 830 to 1153. Why not 850 to 1150?
So much uncertainty. Why not say 1150?
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's the question.
That's a great question. Very, very observant. They probably put it into an AI model that said, "Hey, estimate the number of whales based on the number of spouts seen in this footage." So what was I saying? But so the says scientists at Stanford University who analyzed photos and videos of this event say this massive gathering of baleen whales may be the largest seen since industrial whaling began in the 1700s. Previously, the largest recorded gathering of fin whales was a mere 300 animals. So, because they have been, or they were, the fin whales, let's see, I have the sentence here. Weighing in at 80 tons, fin whales are second in size only to blue whales. Around 1 million of these colossal cetaceans once plied the world's oceans, but a century of whaling reduced their numbers by roughly 98%. So I guess 20,000 down to 20,000, hypothetically. It didn't have that data in here, but the the numbers are recovering seemingly, which is great. But of course, National Geographic giveth, so it has to taketh away. Evidently, the in and among the video are 4 krill trawlers harvesting krill at the same time, even though the international regulations have them not supposed to be doing that within a certain distance of pods of whales. And that
don't steal whale food.
Yeah, don't steal whale food. Yes, that it says one of the threats to fin whales is ship strikes and entanglement in fishing gear, and the whales were spotted amid several industrial krill fishing vessels, and that let's see, it says these tiny crustaceans form the base of the food web in the Southern Ocean as favorite prey for penguins, whales, and squid. People also have an appetite for krill and remove hundreds of thousands of tons of them from the Southern Ocean every year for use in dietary supplements and food for farmed fish. So the article ends with, according to Savica How we manage Antarctic krill fisheries over the next decade will determine if gatherings like the one seen in January 2022 become common or simply a fluke. Kind of a double entendre there, I think. I don't know. I assume that was intended. Sorry.
I'm thinking of Star Trek 4.
Right?
You start with a Star Trek reference, we end with a Star Trek reference. We're nerds.
It begins and ends. Oh, that's funny. That's awesome. Yep. It's all about Captain Kirk.
Well, good stuff, John.
All right. Yep. Well, I hope you have a good week. Looking forward to this weekend, like I said. I'll keep you posted. And
I am looking forward to Trebuchet
video
happenings.
Well, don't expect too much in the next couple weeks. So I think his deadline's April. So we got a bit of time, and next week's gonna be pretty crazy with my my parents in town and stuff. So
okay, cool.
We'll see. Anyway, yep, I'll keep you posted.
Yep. Have a good night, John.
Have a good one. Talk to you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.